Hi, guys. Yeah, Shelby didn't turn your volume up. I'm just sitting here just waiting.
Hello.
Well, yeah.
Oh, here I am.
Here I am on. Oh, you know what? Oh, no.
Hey, you need to turn your volume down over there. Ho, ho, ho. Nailed that one, Shelb.
Funny.
Good to have everyone here. We are up and we are running. We're off to a running start. Timmer is first again.
Timmer.
Don't worry. I hit the thumbs up for you, Timmer, for myself, so I can be first on that. You know what they say? If you're not first, you're last. So it is a couple of days before a major holiday weekend. At the end of the
What makes it a major holiday weekend?
Well, I think that Memorial Day is a very it's a great holiday to pay tribute to the people that served in the armed forces, and I don't think it gets enough.
It gets none of that.
It gets zero credit
No.
for it. The only thing that it gets is people say, "Get a
Ooh,
day
I'm
off."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I
That's-
think it depends on who you know. Like, people who've served in the military, they view it differently.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
And you also are never supposed to wish a happy Memorial Day to a living vet.
I didn't know that.
That
But
I
also,
learned that.
who do you know that celebrates Memorial Day different than?
It's not, I guess, not a matter of celebrating like in a happy way, just celebrating in like remembrance or whatever.
Yeah, but who do you know that does anything to remember?
I don't know, going and visiting so-and-so at the cemetery, blah, blah, blah.
But I'm asking you.
No, I personally do not know.
So
anyone.
most people just abuse the day off and they don't give a shit.
Or
Well,
they just don't think about the...
And I think that has changed over the years, because years ago I can remember our town here having a Memorial Day parade, and it was kind of like a big weekend. I mean, parade as in, you know, how big our parade is. We had like one fire truck, and we had I think I made my bike up, had the stuff in the spokes of the bike, and the brothers, they actually got to ride the go-kart down the main drag. So that was exciting. But the parade was like 6 cars and 3 bikes and a fire truck, and that was about it. But you really don't see that anymore. Like a Thanksgiving, you got the big Thanksgiving Day parades, 2 or 3 of them. People are out celebrating this and that and whatever.
I would say that most major holidays in this day and age, almost all of them have lost the original value that they once were.
I would totally agree with you on that.
I mean, Christmas, 4th of July.
Especially Christmas.
I would say the only one that might be remotely close is...
my birthday?
No.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to be a great day.
I would say Easter's probably the one that some people still celebrate.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't even say celebrate. They just partake in it.
Well, I think that as a tribute to our fallen soldiers, let's take a second here and we'll give them a moment of silence. Thank you. Yeah, it's just something that obviously we want to bring things back to what they're supposed to be, and I guess the only ones that really can do it is the people that are involved in something like that. You and your family, you say, okay, this is what's going on. Christmas is this, this is that, whatever. So, but
I think there was a big, and you can see it in the trends of things now. It went from years ago, you went to church, and then I think you were forced to go to church as a kid, you yourself, and you're like, I freaking hate church. And then you stopped going to church when you got to your adult age. And I think there's a swing of things coming back the opposite, right? Because there's more people, and not even just talking religious, but like when you do it for so long, and then finally you're just like, I'm done.
I would agree with that, because you get to a point where, like, when I was a kid, we went primarily every Sunday. You got up, you got dressed, and you wore big fancy clothes, all that stuff. And then when I got married with Super K, we went to church for another probably 10 years. I think you were the one that really ruined it for us. 'Cause
Probably.
You wouldn't go to church.
Because I was so ADHD that I just didn't want to sit there.
You didn't
Started
want to sit
making
there
him
and
go
get your
again.
ear twisted on
Yeah.
a friggin', for monkeying around in the church. So, but no, I think it is coming back as a big swing. I think people are more, oh yes, I am drinking tonight because it is a major holiday weekend, not because it's Memorial Day, but it's because I'm drinking tonight. So thank you.
What is it that it looks like you have two things going on here?
I do.
Okay.
I have a beer and I have a sipper.
Okay.
Would you like to try the sipper?
No, thank you. I can't have it.
Oh, okay. It mixes with your gum.
It mixes with my gum, and my diet does not allow me to drink alcohol.
Totally cool with that. You gotta stick to your guns and do what makes you happy.
Yes.
Right now, having a drink makes me happy.
There you go.
Nux. I'm not sure what we got going on there, Zach, but we already. So, Shelb,
Yeah.
what do you got going on this weekend? Are you working or are you off or what's the story?
Yes. This weekend I'm working. He actually has the weekend off. But he has to go see a man about a horse. But I work this weekend and I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But then I have the holiday off and then I have the 2 days off after the holiday. So that'll be nice.
So he's working on the holiday and you're off on the holiday. Is that correct?
Yes. So he has to work until I think 6:30 or something
On Monday?
on Monday, right? And then I work. Well, I don't work that day, but I get some extra money on my check, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then yeah.
So
That's about
we're
it.
going Monday. So tomorrow we're headed up with the rest of the state of Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Alabama, and everyone else. We're all going up north tomorrow at 3:30. That's where when
Yeah.
everyone leaves the same time you leave.
Yep.
So we are going up north tomorrow. We talked about not going because the weather was going to be so darn crappy. But it seems like it's gotten a little bit nicer out.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be decent. I mean, at least with some sunshine.
Yeah. It looks like it.
Yeah. So we're headed north tomorrow. We're going to stay Friday night, Saturday night, come home Sunday sometime.
That'll be nice.
Yeah,
How far is that of a ride from here?
It's about a 3 1/4, maybe something like that. So it's
So
not.
it's like far enough away that it's a little.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. It's a place that we never really went to up
Yeah.
until last year.
Right.
I mean, last year we started going up there, and you kind of get the feel for different stuff that is around there. And I talked to Captain Dan today earlier, and he's
Yeah.
like, I don't have the boat in because it's been so damn cold out.
Right.
He's got a pontooner boat. So I don't know if we'll put that in for him or not, but it is what it is.
That's nice.
But yeah, it's. I think it's going to be a great weekend just to get away
Yeah,
because I'll
for
tell you
sure.
what, everyone. Now, when you were younger,
Yeah.
I asked this to certain people, but when
Okay.
you were younger,
Yeah.
what did you do for? I mean, did you go up north?
We didn't have like an up north place to go, but we always went to the Pinery in Grand Bend, Canada.
Okay.
That we went for Memorial, we went for 4th of July, we went for what's the next one? Labor Day.
So you
Or
went,
sometimes maybe not Memorial Day, but I think we might have done Father's Day. Regardless, we go up like probably 3 times a year.
so you went up camping? Is that correct?
Yeah. So
So
originally
I've never been to the place that you speak of.
Grand Bend, they
Grand
have the
Bend.
biggest. Gosh, what are they called?
Wieners?
No.
Ham.
No.
It's in Canada, so it's got to
It's
be
gotta
ham.
be ham.
Yeah,
They
it's
did
ham.
have that everywhere.
All right.
But it's a jawbreaker. You know
oh
how
yeah,
like you have
yeah. I
little
remember them.
They had them like literally the size of a baseball, and each layer was like a ring of a different color, right? So you're,
So how many bites did it take
to get to the
center?
center.
of the-
I don't even know because I'm telling you it was baseball sized. And my parents would never let us get it when we were going into the Pinery because like it's literally like dirt. sand.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's rough
Yeah,
camp.
yeah.
I mean, rough camping. It's a campsite, but there's like barely any electricity, stuff like that, enough to like run the stuff in your camper.
So did you
that's it.
guys have a camper?
We had a pop-up.
Oh, okay.
Before that, we had tents.
Okay.
So, and this one, so did I ever tell you that? I think I did. We had a leader dog reject as a family dog. That was
No.
my first family dog growing
I
up.
thought that's the one that you guys got now. All three of them
Yeah,
are all rejects.
Right, they are all
Except the
rejects.
one, except Big Brown.
Except Big Brown.
That's my dog.
I know. So, and I don't know, I think she was a reject, but then they used her to breed for the leader dog. So,
I hope they at least pet her first.
yeah. So, we would take her so we were her foster family. So she wasn't ours technically, but like anytime they were ready to mate her to have a litter to make seeing eye dogs.
Yep.
We would take her in, they'd keep her, whatever, they'd do their thing, and then
They buy her dinner.
Yep. And then we'd take her home, and then my parents actually, they created like you know how when you walk into my parents' house they have like that little like sitting area, there's like a couch there and stuff. It's supposed to be a dining room, but they don't use it as that. It's like a little sitting area.
Yep.
So they would completely rearrange it and turn like the big corner of it and fill it with like newspaper and straw and stuff like that.
Can you hold that thought for a second?
Sure.
Where in the devil is your parents
I
lately?
don't know.
They
know.
have not been on here in like 6 weeks.
I know. They know what's going on too.
That's, you know what? That really irritates me right now. I'm half-ass friggin' want to put them on live and give them a call and figure out what the hell's going on.
I'm texting my mom. So, Timmer said a birthing room. I don't know if that's a joke, but that's a great way to describe it. But they'd set her up with like newspaper. There's like, make like an area for her to deliver the puppies. So whenever she'd be ready,
Makes me want to pull my feet, like scratch across the grass or something.
It would happen at any, nighttime, daytime, midday, you never know. But they had to help her deliver the puppies. And so she ended up having 7 litters for Leader Dog for the Blind. And
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, 56 puppies,
Wow.
and only one of them did not make it. Out of all of them, there were a runt, and my mom rushed. I remember going with my mom. Like she had this, really cozy, like dog bed with a heat lamp, and did everything she could. We got the dog there as fast as we could, and they just couldn't do anything. He was just too tiny. But they ended up sending us photo albums whenever the dogs graduated and were paired with a blind person. So we have photo albums at my parents' house of all the puppies that Penny had. And then when she was too old to breed, we ended up keeping her.
Okay. So I want to challenge the 8 people that are in here.
Yeah.
That if you ever get the opportunity to go to Leader Dog of the Blind in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and take a tour. It is absolutely fantastic to go through there. I'm a member of the Lions Club here in town. Well, obviously we do a lot with the blind, and that is something that this place where they train is very close to where we live here, but it is absolutely fantastic to go over and check things out. Kind of shows you how they get the dogs in, what they do, where the people come and stay. Because when the blind people come up, they'll spend like a week there, week and a half, 2 weeks training as to, how you're using the dog. They actually take them to our downtown area, which is very popular with the training people and whatnot.
Right.
They train them on the streets, the whole kit and caboodle. So if you ever get the opportunity, it is absolutely a fantastic tour to go through. Check it out, if you could. That's a great thing to see.
It was cool.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
how did
So
we
anyway,
start talking about Leader Dog for the Blind?
what's that?
How did we even start talking
Your
about Leader Dog?
dogs.
I know, but before that, what made me
Well,
even tell that
we
story?
started camping. We were camping.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, camping.
Yes.
So that dog, we took her camping, and one day we could not find her anywhere. And mind you, there are no like porta potties or anything. There's like a centralized bathroom in the middle of the camp. I think 2 of them in the middle of the campground somewhere.
Okay. Is that where they have the ham?
No.
Well, I'm just. I mean,
Like,
Timmer's probably
I
had
know.
ham there.
I'm sure he has. Like, bunch of bathroom stalls, a bunch of like stand-up showers, things that you would see like at the beach when you go, like just, like very they're not like, lavish or whatever. Just so you could rinse off whatever. We could not find our dog anywhere. We had no idea where she was.
And you started to panic.
Looked for her everywhere.
Yeah, that panic. And what was the dog's name?
Penny.
Penny!
Yeah.
Penny!
Yep.
Penny!
And we couldn't find her anywhere.
And then you start to run and you're like, hey.
Yeah.
Did you see my dog?
Have you seen my dog? Have you seen my dog?
What's the dog's name? That's Penny.
Yeah. Couldn't find her. One of us had to go to the bathroom. She somehow ended up at the bathrooms and was just sitting at the picnic table waiting.
Was waiting for you
waiting
to
for
come
us to
out.
come out of the bathroom.
Yep, she got lost and she was waiting
and
for
it
you.
was a familiar place, and that's where she was.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we did for going up north. We didn't. I mean, technically that is north.
Oh yeah.
But there
absolutely.
were. I grew up and I went to private school, and there were a bunch of families who had kids the same age. So I'm 2 years older than my sister, and there are like 3 other families who had kids my age and then my sister's age, and then maybe others. But so all the parents obviously like become close, whatever.
Sure.
And so we would all go camping with them and reserve the same campsites every year, and they all connect by like a little trail between the trees.
Yep.
So that's what we did, which was fun.
That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
And we did when I wasn't sure which way to cough. I didn't want to cough into the mic.
Thank you.
We did something similar. I mean, like when I was younger with mom and dad, we basically went to any place that they had a box toilet and a picnic table. They called the friggin', because we always camped in the absolutely cheapest place you could get.
Mm-hmm.
So it was usually the Federal Forest Campground. And, back then you didn't need the friggin' shower. If you did, here you go. Here's a bar of ivory soap.
Yeah.
Because ivory soap doesn't sink. And you went in the lake. Get your ass out in the lake and you a little scrub-a-dub-dub. And, it makes no difference that you're friggin',
I don't think I could do that.
Well, that's what we did. And
right.
for years and years and years, we did that where we would go to a lot of UP campsites.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got, I won't say fancy, but we got the pop-up camper. We got the Coleman pop-up camper, and that was like friggin' cat's ass. I mean, you had a friggin' pop-up camper.
Right.
But we went with Uncle Theo's mom and dad, and usually about once a week, the women would get crazy drunk.
Oh boy.
And you had like they would get out on their rafts. RK was married on the water by Aunt Lois.
No.
Aunt Cuppy, yes, she was absolutely hammered. So she, salute, tuta, you guys are married.
Yeah.
This and that and whatever. And then a little while later, she got drunk and threw up.
Okay.
Or she was drunk, but then she threw up, and Uncle Jerry put her to bed. But no, we did that. But then as our kids were younger, we used to go up to Higgins Lake. That was our place to go to. Always went to Higgins Lake. Always same thing. We got the same campsites. Right next to us there was a vacant lot, so we always played volleyball with a couple of people that we knew, that we had met up there, and we played friggin' like hours like this,
Yeah. Right.
So we're sitting on the beach one day, and we got 2 dogs. We've got a chocolate lab and a black lab. We've got Grunt and we've got Alex.
Oh, what was Odie?
Odie was a little bit after that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So we had the first 2 dogs, and we're sitting there, and, we're having, cocktails, and I think the kids were playing in the water, and all of a sudden you see, like, what the? Look, someone's got their dog down there. Like, wait a minute. That's our friggin' dog. Friggin' dog had somehow pulled his friggin' neck out of the thing, found us on the beach. And he was having just a great old time
all by himself.
Down there. Well, it was like he knew it was like, hey. Like, oh, hey, Dad, what's going on? So,
that's funny.
But yes, fun times when you're camping like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
absolutely.
It's good to get out. It's good to have your kids up there, kind of learn. That was the thing that they were always able to get on their bikes and ride the circles around. And,
Yeah.
they got a little bit of freedom, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then at 7 o'clock, before you got friggin' really pickled up by the fire, you'd ride your bike or have them ride the bikes down to the store.
Yeah.
And you have a little ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get the ice cream down, you come back, put the kids in bed, and like this.
I understand what you're saying. You got a cherry?
No.
Ice cube?
Cherries in the bottom.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, so it's a good time for family time. This week it's going to be this weekend's going to be pretty cool. Get the hell out of northern Michigan before Monday when all the other lunatics start coming home.
Have you done it before where you leave on Sunday and the traffic's better?
Usually when we come home, like when we're up there every other weekend, we'll get up first thing Sunday morning, 8 a.m., and we're on the road. Because we'll leave usually Thursday after work. Super K will work up there on Friday. We take the whole Starlink at there. I set it all up or get it set up for her. She works on Friday. I go out and usually play golf or, go play, do whatever. And then Sunday morning, we're up and out of there. So we're home really by 11 o'clock and there's virtually no traffic.
Right.
And the traffic that is on the road is going 100 miles an hour. So.
Oof. 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's usually you race to see which one's going to go faster.
That's crazy.
Just to clarify, I only went under the table to unplug a camera and replug it back in.
I seen Shelby's face. It was
Stop. My parents are watching. Don't say
oh,
dumb
they're
things.
finally friggin' here.
Not anymore. Also, don't say stuff like that. That's disgusting, please. I don't like that.
I'm sorry. I was just
No, he's not. Punch him, Shelby.
That's not.
I have a
that's
drink.
not. That's not funny.
All right. Anyway, I apologize, Shelby. I won't say that. I won't say ever again because I'm sure I will say it sometime down the road and get scolded again.
I'm sure.
So Connie has a
You see this
message. Did you get verbally or did you get abused
physically?
by?
Yeah. But
By
it was
my
just
new
by
bread
a
oven.
oven instead.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you see what Connie said?
No.
She wants to know when you found Penny.
My mom said yes, we are. I saw that the penny when we found it was tails up. Yeah. As in tail wagging puppy named Penny.
You know what? I right now your dad has got a long ways to come before he actually gets back on my good side. Because he hasn't been here in like 7 weeks.
I know.
6 weeks. I mean, they would at least pop in. They're like, "Hey, we're here."
They'd
And
pop in, then they'd leave because you'd be an asshole or something.
Well, once they knew we knew that they were there, then he could freaking shut off the thing, go play poker or whatever the hell he does.
I know.
Go to Myers and come home or whatever.
He did do that. I was over there today, and we left at the same time. He went to Meyer, and I went home.
Well, you should have went to Meyer with him. Maybe he would have bought you like a snack or a toy or something before you guys left.
He filled up my gas tank.
Oh, there you go. That was more than generous.
It was.
So, Zach, we discussed what Shelby is doing this weekend. What do you got scheduled?
It depends on the weather, honestly.
3D printing some stuff for our friends' kids.
Yep, I'm 3D printing a bunch of stuff. That's not what I'm going to focus my weekend on, but I may go up and get the tomato cage, or not the tomato cages, the hog panels.
Okay.
And set up that. At least get it fenced in, get the T-post up. I know I'm going to have to do another garden box somewhere. I just don't know where yet.
Why don't you get some of them bags?
I have those bags.
Yeah, I know. But instead of doing a big box.
The bags are good, but I just don't want to put bags all over the ground. I'd rather we do the bags on the deck, the garden bags.
Okay.
And then we have behind the garage, we have those, what would you call those? Those stands.
Yeah.
It was basically a rack I took from work that we were throwing out, and then I cut in half, and then we can do 4 bags per stand.
Okay.
I personally like the bags more.
Right.
Because I don't think we had any issue with any growth or any choking last year on it.
So
on the bags.
You can get choked ones?
The tomatoes, the yellow ones, they kind of the cages didn't really do much.
Part of the problem was the cages themselves, not necessarily the bags.
Yeah.
Problem
Well-
is to get like a good. There's no good cages out there.
Why are tomatoes such a pain in the ass to grow? One year you get just the absolute bumper crop of tomatoes, and then the next year it's like, what in the hell did I do differently this year that I've got such a crappy crop?
You say crappy crap.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
I don't know. Last year was really the first garden we've had.
Yeah.
But we had so many, and part of our problem was, now that we know this year, we had so many friggin' green tomatoes.
Right,
Well, the reason why you have so many green tomatoes because there's so many stems.
right.
Mhm.
You have to cut the stems off to be able to get big, nice tomatoes elsewhere.
Mhm.
And that's something we learn. I mean, now with YouTube, you know, I'm watching all kinds of friggin' videos on that stuff just to figure it out, going through my head from last year.
Mhm.
Because I planted my tomatoes, basically what my thought was, okay, I put a tomato plant in here, it's going to grow 2 feet this way. I put a tomato plant over here, it's going to grow 2 feet this way. So now it's basically 4 feet between both tomato plants. It's not big enough.
But it
Mhm.
shouldn't be. Your guys' problem is you guys throw the seed everywhere. Even if you plant it strategically, you then don't trim. All
Well-
you guys do is grow.
Correct. And this is something that now I've learned, that when you got 5 or 6 tomatoes on a plant or on a limb, you have to trim off the bottom half. My question is, what can we do with them green tomatoes? We used to have
You could do fried green tomatoes.
here's one for you, Shelby.
Okay.
We used to do pickled green tomatoes when
Ugh.
we were kids. Do you like pickles?
Mm-hmm.
They were friggin' amazing.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, I guess you have to take it for what it's worth, but
True.
you know, it tasted like tomato, or tasted like a tomato,
Okay.
but it was a pickled tomato, so it was actually decent.
I guess it could be if you're into that sort of thing.
Well, I think that we should be in that sort of thing.
Okay.
No, I'm in the back of my head last night. I went out there because I knew that we were now going up north.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the thing. You tell people from other states, you're like, so what'd you do this weekend? Oh, we went up north.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
Squirrel.
why? What's up with up north?
Right.
I mean, other states, they don't understand the whole go up north. I
Right.
mean,
They
pick up
don't.
and get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah. They really don't get it.
See what Timmer said? Cut the sucker shoots off. What he tells us this now.
No, that's
No,
that's
I know what it's called.
I knew that after mine got abundantly abundant.
I
last
always
year.
cut just when I thought the sucker stems, I thought they were just the smaller ones.
Mm,
And now you look at the one video and there's like 6 tomatoes on. They want you to cut the bottom 3 off or 4 off,
yeah.
which makes
Anything
perfect.
that's not producing red, nice tomatoes.
It's anything that
just-
branches off of the main stem and the main tomato and the main fruit stem. So if this is the main stem and then this one's going off and it's budding and it's flowering, then there's one that will shoot up in between. That's what you break off.
Ooh.
What? Ooh. What?
Someone break your arm off. What are you gonna say?
We're gonna.
I'm gonna say ooh.
So what else, Chubb? Have you decided what you're planting this year?
I want cherry tomatoes.
That's
I
natural.
Want jalapenos.
I would agree with that.
Cucumbers. We're gonna try this
We
year,
always have to have cucumbers.
but we didn't do it last year.
I know. I think we take.
You like cucumbers?
I like cucumbers way more than zucchini and all that other bullshit.
Really?
Mhm.
Cucumbers are
I
not-
love
not
cucumbers.
good.
I like.
So I think what we do is we might have to buy another hog panel
Mhm.
and then cut it down because I
Okay.
thought about taking. So we got here, and then you got the corner. I was gonna leave the corner open. Then in the extended arm of that garden box, I was gonna take 2 hog panels
Mm-hmm.
and then just TP them,
Okay.
wigwam them, so that it can grow up, rather than a cage. Because I don't know
Mhm.
if a cage is gonna be as good as just letting them grow up.
True. For the tomatoes?
No, for the cucumbers.
Oh, yeah, they are viney. That's fine. I don't care.
They'll be like 4
Mhm.
4 wide,
Mhm.
and then maybe 4 tall.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't be bad. I also want to do herbs. I want to do a lot of herbs. I want herb,
Herbs.
basil, parsley,
I need you to do me a favor.
rosemary.
If he picks up that phone again, I want you to just karate chop his throat.
Okay.
His
His
it was.
I don't care.
throat?
Don't care.
Okay.
His throat. Wow.
Right in the throat.
It was a work call.
Yikes.
They had an emergency at their house and wanted to know when I could get there. I was thinking
Aw.
about getting up to leave, but
Oh yeah.
you know, I told them it was a holiday weekend and I am gone.
Oh boy.
So that's where I was at. So anyway, what else?
I don't know. I think that's mainly the ticket. We don't really need, like, next year, I would really like to do the problem is anytime we have plants in the house, Shelby kills them.
It's true.
Okay.
I bought her a very beautiful aloe plant. I told her, I said, I'm never going to buy you flowers again, but I'm going to buy you functional things because flowers are dumb as fuck. All they do is die.
It doesn't matter if
So-
I like them or not.
It doesn't matter. I bought her this beautiful aloe plant. It took 1 ice cube a week. That sucker died. It got 4 ice cubes total, and it died 6 months later.
Last
Go ahead.
last I heard, I didn't think an aloe plant was that
Hard
really
to maintain.
hard to maintain.
That's what I thought.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then she got some other plant that was in the kitchen that I just threw out a couple weeks ago, and then she got another one. She doesn't have a green thumb.
So before
That has been poking me all day.
before
Oops,
you
I just
throw
fell.
these out, you know, in the family we have plant doctors.
I know. I
So-
didn't throw it out.
So
He
you
threw it out.
you could either go south or go north. You have 2 plant doctors
I
that are
know.
very close to you.
Actually, they're
I
both
threw them out.
they're both south.
Oh no, you can take you up to Nicole as well.
Oh, okay.
She's got 8 million friggin' plants
True.
in one
Yeah.
friggin' room.
Just drop it off at Graham's house.
There you go.
Someone will revive it.
So Graham, yeah, you could do that.
But then it comes back to my house, and then it will die 6 months later
Yeah.
again.
But this is what the
Plant's just yelling, "Let me die!"
This
Let
is
me
what these
die,
plant
yeah.
doctors do. They love to bring things back. They're like, I can save you.
Yeah.
And when they bring it back, then you're like, well, you know, obviously it, you know, so here's my issue with, or here's my things with plants. When I was very young,
hmm
I had a good friend of mine that they had a greenhouse and they
Okay.
used to grow these great big giant hanging baskets, just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'd really like to have one of them.
hmm
And they're like, well, there's $65. It's like, I ain't friggin' paying that for a plant.
Why not?
Well, because I was 18 and I was spending more money. This way I had money to spend on booze at the bar that I should have spent on the plant instead.
Yeah.
But so I finally get this plant. They felt bad for me and they give me this plant. So I took it home, took it to my house that I was living in at the time. And what do you do when you're a new plant owner? What's the first thing you think you should do to that plant?
Water it.
Water it.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I watered it every couple of days and I drowned that bitch. And
Oh,
you know, next thing you know, plant's dead. They friggin' come in. We had a party one time. They friggin' grabbed the plant, threw it outside, and I never got another plant again.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah,
Timmer
so-
said crop rotation is key. Don't plant the same veggies in the same location each year.
And
Didn't
that
know that.
I didn't
that
know that
goes
either.
to same thing like is we're getting closer to watching deer hunting food plot videos,
hmm
and that's the same thing they tell you when you're doing that.
Well, speaking of, I got some videos you need to friggin' shoot. I
Okay,
got another deer blind at the house that got sent to us that I need both those videos.
a
shot.
360.
360.
So would you have an issue if myself and Captain Dan did a little review this weekend?
I don't care who doesn't. I just need I
Okay.
need
Need
the
it to be
content,
done.
but it needs a. I know it's been a long time since I've edited, but it's also been a long time since you've shot. We need to go back to the roots of what made good content.
Okay, so we can discuss that after.
Okay.
But it's something that I had planned on taking the video or taking the blind that I have up north,
hmm
and we could set up one day while we're having a couple of beers, and we could talk about it.
Well,
and
if you go to my house, there's one on my front porch in the box. You just got to grab.
I'm going to be at your house probably tomorrow. I'd like to squirt that thing. I
Okay.
have to come up to the store and pick up my eggs and whatnot. So,
Okay.
Eggles.
Yes, I can come up and get that. The other one is a 360.
Mm-hmm.
So one's a 270, one's a 360.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll pick them up because I think that would be a good weekend up there. We could do some different stuff, set up a little backdrop. Got a little stuff going on. Yeah.
Get some tannerite and just blow it up.
Oh, that would be. I got
So
that
funny.
friggin' big.
You do.
Yeah, remember that I was gonna blow up my bow, and they're like, "You can't do that."
Well, we didn't even blow anything up.
I know it.
They also said that we were going to shoot something with it. I don't remember what we were going to shoot with it.
Well, we were gonna dry fire it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you can give that to, friggin' kids for bows.
The good
or something.
thing is, if we go up in October and it's still there, we're fucking blowing it up.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be cool. I got that friggin' giant box of tannerite. We could do it actually. Are you coming up food plot week? You got any time off for that?
When is that?
It's usually either the last weekend or last week of July or first week of August.
Probably not.
Usually like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, those days are almost impossible.
I know it's work days, but so because we could, we're talking about, doing something like that up there, but in that weekend it's going to be busier in hell as well. So Blind's beers and are great beer. He is correct. Blind beers are great beers.
They are great beers.
Yeah. And besides that, they can't see you coming. So when you pick them up,
Easy.
did you get that?
Yeah, blind.
Blind. Can't see a darn thing. But if it had a seeing eye dog, it'd be in Rochester right now.
That's true. I would say last year there was a number of days where I had blind beers. I obviously wouldn't do that with a gun in the UP or anything because sometimes you run into uncircumcised.
Uncircumcised
Sasquatch.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you know what I learned I can never say? My mom and I went out to lunch today, and I can never say, "Where's the restroom?" It always comes out, "Where's the restroom?" Every time. Try to say it. Where's the
restroom? I think it's because it's on my mind, but
say it.
Where's the restroom?
See? You did that on purpose.
I did.
I always say, "Excuse me, where's the restroom? Where's the west restroom?" I always say west restroom. Anyway.
Westchester.
Yeah, sure.
So we've got, I have to order some, you know what? I'll talk to the seed doctor when I see him tomorrow.
Okay.
I wonder if he has some marigolds. You're supposed to put marigolds around your garden. Supposed to keep some of the critters out, and it's supposed to help with your stuff. So
Why?
I have no idea. This is why we're here. Timmer right now has been the friggin' plant doctor. So
That's true.
marigolds are supposed to bring like the bees and stuff in to pollinate. My grandfather, when we bought our house in Rochester, he had a strip of marigolds. And these friggin' marigolds were that big around. They were bright yellow.
Okay.
And I absolutely love marigolds just because of that. He would take the seeds every year from the marigolds, do whatever the hell he did with them, and then he would replant them the year after. And when Super K does that, they're only like super small ones. So, but it's like, there you go. Rabbits hate them.
Mm.
Like, you come by and it's like, yeah, I'm going to come over here and have some whatever. Oh, no, there's marigolds here.
Do you think they hate him because there was some bitch named Marigold and they just couldn't stand her?
Could be.
Hmm.
Could be.
The florist for our wedding just named her daughter Marigold because she's a florist.
Interesting.
They call her Goldie.
Why didn't they call her Rose?
Mm-hmm. She like Marigold because she could probably go by Mary.
Yeah.
Did
I don't think
you
it's that
know?
great of a name.
Thank God that
Easy.
she didn't like tulips.
You are the most disgusting person I know. Can we switch seats?
That'd be cool because in that way I could see you and I could make eye contact with you. And that way I could say, thank God. Thank God her name isn't Tulips. That'd
Anyway.
be cool. You want to do that?
No.
We'll do that next week.
Did you know that in the beginning of 2026 they are going to stop manufacturing the penny?
Because it costs 3 cents, I heard, to
Because
make.
it costs too much money to make.
Which is dumb that it's taken this long to get to that point.
Okay.
I thought it was a cool fact, okay?
No, I agree. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
So
I think it's dumb that they finally say, "Oh, let's get rid of it," but
Right.
then like
Right.
So what's your thoughts on that, though?
I think it's what's the point of a penny?
Okay, so now you're getting the material that you're buying is $2
Timmer, you're sick.
and 1 cent, or $2.03. Is it now $2.05?
No.
Mhm.
Because it's not going to be $2. So I guess what I'm getting at is now all the prices are going to bump up because there's no longer the pennies.
No,
Sure it is.
I guess. Yeah, they have to adjust prices then,
Why?
right?
Most people
Yeah. How do you do that?
make a 3-cent coin.
That's dumb. What do you do if you need 41 cents? 41
That's
cents.
a good question.
41 cents
Let's
is
ask
one of each
CTP.
coin. Heads or tails?
No.
Just
not
give
playing.
me one.
I'm not playing.
Give
I
me heads or
played that
tails.
last week.
No, I'm not doing that either.
See?
Let me see the quarter.
No.
If
Why are
she
you
picks
guys
up that
so
quarter
rude?
again, can I just chop her in the neck? Because I did touch my phone a little while ago and I was
It's heads.
okay.
Yeah, so I should be able to do one round of harmless heads or tails to participate.
Well, there you
Sorry,
go.
guys. You know what? Whatever. You guys are mean.
I'm looking up your question.
Emotional damage.
Okay, real world effects.
Wait, what was it?
Real wood.
Real world effects.
Where's the Western?
What's already happening in other countries? Cash transactions would be rounded. Only cash purchases would be affected, not debit, credit. Total would be rounded to the nearest 5 cents. So it says $4.92 would be rounded down to $4.90. $4.93 would round up to $4.95. This is called rounding to the nearest nickel. It's already used in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and
Okay.
others.
Interesting.
Says number 2, minor price impact, but no real inflation.
I don't believe that.
Why?
Because when you got something that, if I'm selling something and I got a price tag on it, it's never going to be $1.92. It's always going to be $1.93.
Did you
because-
miss the first portion of that? If it's $4.92, it rounds down to $4.90.
I understand that, but you as the seller are never going to mark something $4.92. You're going to mark it $4.93 because you get the extra 2 cents. So if you get 100 customers that give you an extra 2 cents, you're making better money.
To
True.
be fair, most, say, retailers already mark things at $4.89, $99. So you're always going to be at that 1 penny extra regardless.
True.
So now you get a store like the last store you worked at, the Starbucks in there or whatever the store is, and they have coffee that's $4.99 or in their case $12.99. So now they sell 2 million coffees. They get a penny off of every coffee. They're making some good bank.
2 million.
But like really good bank, because it's really not that impactful.
I think
And
it is.
and like I said, most people use plastic anyways, and it's not going to impact the majority of people. When was the last time you paid cash with something? Not
Today.
last time they used it in a retail or food environment.
Last
does gas station
weekend,
count?
I had a pocket full of cash, and I paid cash all weekend long. But here's what I find.
Where were you last weekend?
What do you do with all your change?
Oh.
Now we have a big bowl that we bring it home. We throw it in the not
the
a
bucket?
bowl, but in a
Yeah.
big jug.
Yeah.
And
But
then we
Most
save
of the
it.
time, how many times have you dropped a penny and been like, I'm not going to pick it up?
I always pick them up. If it's not my penny, I won't pick it up because I've had bad luck with picking up someone else's penny.
Okay.
But if it's
Interesting.
my penny, I always gonna bend over and pick it up. You know what Annie said?
Okay, what if it rolls someone? It rolls 15 feet away from you. Are you walking over and finding that
No.
penny?
Yes.
There's
You
no
will?
chance.
Yes, but if
You're
it-
in line in a retail store. They're waiting for you to pay. You're trying to use exact change. You're going to walk 15 feet
well, no, usually
or
when
grab the nickel that's in your
well,
pocket.
I'll use the nickel or whatever is in my pocket.
How
but
long do you look for it then?
What, the nickel?
The penny that
No,
you just dropped.
usually if I can't pull exact change out right away, I'll just give them the extra buck
Okay.
because then that way I know the change is coming back here and it's getting put back in a jug. So,
Okay.
but it's one of them things that I feel as though I guess maybe I'm from the old school that if cash goes away,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be issues in the world.
No, there's not.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. This is just because now
How much crypto do you have right now?
I have some.
So why do you use crypto? Crypto is no backing whatsoever.
I know it because you probably told me to buy it because it was a good deal, and I ended up buying it. And now I really don't know if I make any money. I do know that I have money sitting there. So if I'm ever broke, I'm never broke because I have
Exactly.
$4,000 in there. I don't know how to get it out,
Nice.
but
I don't know how to get it out.
All I'm saying is we are going so far away because right now the dollar is not backed by gold. It's backed by nothing.
okay.
So it's blind faith in this paper money.
So couple of things.
Okay.
First thing, tomfoolery popped in here, and
Yep.
that was where I was going before, and I got sidetracked.
Yep.
That he is correct. We had an aunt that said, "You watch the pennies, and the dollars will take care of themselves."
That's true.
So they keep talking about this Fort Knox thing
Yeah.
that there's nothing in there.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be filled full
Yeah,
of
yeah.
gold, and that's the reserve, and blah blah blah. That they're saying there's nothing in there. So I guess I'm
But
Well-
that's the reason we had that gold is to back the dollar.
correct.
But then what president was it that removed gold backing the dollar?
I don't know. I was probably absent from that day at school. And Papa says, cash is king, baby. Cash is king. And I will say this
Richard
in
Nixon.
Richard Nixon. Okay.
in my
That
business,
wasn't that long ago. That was in 71.
in my business lately, I've been giving people the 5% cash discount, and
Mhm.
I'm getting a lot of people that are paying cash again.
Okay.
So I think it's making full
I feel like
circle.
one, if you tell me I get 5% back in cash discount, I'm saying right there, buddy.
Okay.
Because 5% ain't worth shit.
Okay.
That doesn't even cover the taxes.
Okay.
Now if you said 10%, I'm gonna go pull that cash out tomorrow.
So I just did a job the other day for a hot water tank, and it was
How old was the customer? Grandpa's customer?
yeah, it was. They were 102.
Okay, so-
it was their birthday next week.
They probably were grandfather's, Gramps' customer that you inherited, and they're stuck in the same old ways that you are.
And it could be. I mean, I'm just saying that I'm see when you offer the people that 5%, $100 is not a whole lot there. I mean, $100, $10, so you're saving $5. But when you get into the 500, now you're saving $25. And people
Yeah.
are saying, okay, for $25, I can go out and get a friggin' couple of hits of friggin' booze and whatever, and
Yeah.
half a dinner, and so it's no harm, no foul for them to go to the bank. They're still paying basically the same thing. They're getting a little break, and I get a little pocket money.
Is there
I get a little walking around money?
Is there a cash job where if it gets to a certain dollar amount, would you give them a bigger discount?
No.
No. So guys, like I got 10 grand. It's a $12,000 job. I got 10 grand in cash. You gonna give me 10% off?
Oh yeah, if you get into something like that, like when they're bartering. The other day, I had a guy that the job was 3,200. He's like, and I was giving him the 5%, so that was 150, 160. So that was he's like, I got 2,900. You do it for 2,900. So it cost me another $50, $60. It's like, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you in that case you did do closer to 7 or 8 or 9%.
Correct. And nowadays I find that sometimes you have to work with the people. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if they're coming in and saying, hey, I got 17 bids and you're the middle of the bid, but you're one step higher than the next guy down, will you do it for X amount of money? If you got the time to do it, yeah, sure. If not, and the people are cool or whatever, away you go.
I like that.
Bueller.
What?
I just think that there's always that point where, like, for you, that $150 versus $75, if you give them that 10% versus 5% versus 10%, you walk away with $3,000 in cash versus you walk away. And to be real, the reason why cash is king and why people like crypto so much is because it's untraceable.
Cash?
Cash is
Yeah.
absolutely untraceable.
True.
And that's why people...
What cash?
Exactly. That's exactly why people like crypto, in theory, because there's no true regulation of what that money's for or anything like that.
Well, and it becomes a thing where, let's face it, the government's not friggin' giving us any breaks to speak of. So sometimes you gotta friggin' make that extra nickel wherever you can,
Yeah.
or save that nickel wherever you can.
I agree.
Like the car mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to the car mechanic, I usually get, like a while back, I got probably 10% off up there. I took them cash. They're like, yeah, I'll give you X amount off. So that's something that I've been doing lately with them because
They
I
do.
like-
Yeah, they do
I like
that.
to get it. They like to get it. And what you do with it once you got it is your business.
That's true.
So Connie says every waitress prefers tips and cash. And
True story.
when the Topaz is out at the store and they have signs that say cash only, you want the cash, and who wants to give a stranger your card number at a yard sale?
At a yard sale?
Well, that's what she said. I'm just going by what she said. Are you guys yard sailors? Garage sailors?
I'm always
Not
in for a
really.
good deal.
We don't go.
Um,
No, we're not. We like to see
Hold
them
on.
and go,
hold on.
no, let me answer. I'm focused. We like to look and say, oh, there's a garage sale over there. We drive by sometimes. Oh, we should go to that. And never does it.
No, okay, now let me finish what I was gonna say, damn it.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Every year, the past, honestly, 7 years that we've had the Romeo garage sales all downtown,
Yes.
we both had to work that weekend.
Okay.
Or she was gone or I was gone. Because I would like to, because I think, you can walk in and find something cool and make a couple $100 because
So-
someone's selling some bullshit.
So here's the thing: you've got a cousin of yours that
Mhm.
sells a absolute butt ton of stuff on eBay.
How much does that weigh? A butt ton?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot, depending on how large that thing is. But so when
I'm
I
bothered by that.
drive down and I see a garage sale there, first thing I do is I have to, one, you slow down. It's like, got the air brake, the Jake brake on. And as you're going by, you're looking to see if anything interests you. And if something interests you, you have to stop just to walk up there and look around. But my favorite thing, obviously, is I like to barter. Sometimes you buy that piece of crap that you don't need, but you got to barter on it.
And you can do that at garage sales.
You can. And sometimes you don't need it, and you like really friggin' lowball them, and they tell you get the hell out of your yard, and that's all cool. I'm totally cool with that.
out of here.
Which
That's
I think
right.
is weird to like say that to someone.
Yeah, I would never say it to someone buying one of my motorcycles.
It is what it is.
I mean, unless they're being rude, obviously. But there's no reason, in my opinion.
Badass wants to know how the wedding plan is going. Right now, she is shopping for wedding dresses. So that's
It's
all I
going
can
good.
tell you.
She's so disconnected from this live stream that I had to text her and say, "Are you paying attention?"
That's not true. I have been talking throughout while I'm searching.
So last night,
Also, why'd you do that?
because
I know you're
so-
doing it because you're
I
scrolling.
know, but why do you have to say it?
So here's the thing. Last night we go to down the street. We had to go have dinner
The local watering hole.
we didn't have anything for dinner, so we went down to Hamlin down the road, and they had music bingo going on.
Mm.
So it's like, hey, you want to go have dinner? Yeah, okay. So I've had the nachos down there before, pretty good. So it's like, yeah, I can feel some nachos coming on. So I go down there, and it's 3 women and myself sitting at the table playing music bingo. One thing,
you all sit at the
strangers?
same table?
oh, no, it was myself and Super K and
Were you guys
Gus.
wearing matching shirts?
They could have been.
Okay.
So we come in, we sit down, we're sitting there, and all of a sudden they start, the lady comes around, hey, we're playing music. I don't really, I can hear, but I don't hear real well. Well, now they have this thing you put on your phone. Oh, my throat. You had your opportunity. You
I'm
didn't take it.
not doing to you what you do to me.
So
I'm a
anyway,
nicer person than you are.
They have this app on the phone where you can push a button and it tells you what the song is. So
Called
that
Shazam
way you know
for
what
your
what,
old mind.
Yeah, it could be.
No, I'm telling you, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
it's Shazam. So I've got music playing where it takes me like 7 seconds to hear what the song is. And then once I hear it, it's like, okay, yeah, I know this song. So you kind of get in the rhythm a little bit, and then it changes to a different song. And why I'm doing that, I'm going up and down my bingo sheet like, okay, what do I got? Do I have that? It's like, who's it from? So I'm looking over and
So you're
well,
just cheating the whole time because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
well, no, this is something that they actually read them back and tell you what the answers are. So I'm going through. I'm looking at Gus's phone because she's got the stuff up there, and then so after the first game, they did 2 bingos and then they did the coverall, and they come around with the second game. By that time, we had gotten our food. So now I'm eating my nachos, scooping my hot sauce, going back and forth with my pencil, looking at the phone, trying to figure out what song it is. And
Did you go back and forth between your pencil and your hot sauce?
I did. And then what happened is people just start friggin' talking and they're singing. And I'm like, I can't. I got up. I was like, I'm going home. I friggin' got up and left. It was like, I can't do it no more. She's like, Super K's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going home. I can't. My ADD right now is kicked in so bad.
Does he have ADD?
I have
Yes.
something.
Yes.
I have something.
What
So
do I have?
I get home and it's like,
Probably Downs.
That is a horrible joke to make.
That's all I'm saying. That's if you asked me what I thought you had, that's what I would say.
Wow.
crickets.
That's not a funny.
Crickets.
That's not a joke.
Anyway, I got up and left
what I get for
because I
participating.
couldn't deal with the whole everything going on. I come home, I got my friggin' clothes off, I sat in bed, I had the TV on, I had friggin' my phone playing, but it was like nothing going on. It was quiet. I couldn't friggin' deal with it down there at the bar. And I have no idea what the hell we were talking about before that conversation. So maybe someone could help me out with a new conversation.
You're talking about how your ADD kicked in and you
Yeah.
couldn't.
All right, so let's go back and let's see what people have said here because we've got a few things in here.
Shelby.
I can't read like that fast. I'm reading.
Well, you're way faster than I am.
Eric said, "Shelby, we love you. Thanks." Love you too.
Oh, you read that one quick.
I'm just getting so mad right now. Timmer said goalies are naturally offside.
That's a true story there.
He's not wrong.
Anyway,
Talking about yard sales and bartering is what Timber said we were talking about before.
so I took Super K. So my father was a big auction guy. We'd go to an auction, check things out, walk around, look at different stuff. You look at stuff that you didn't need. And, I was never able to get the card for myself. I had to, kind of go with him and, buddy along with him. So when I was able to start going to the auctions myself, get my own card and, went to one and Super K's like, well, I want my own card. You go up there, sign up for your card, put your credit card in there and all that stuff. So we go to an auction and, it's like she's like a kid in a candy store, walks in there. There's all this crap laying around, some good, some not so good. And she walks over to a friggin' backpack, one of the hunting backpacks that we have around here. She probably bought it for you.
Okay.
And she's going through this whole thing, and she's got her card now, and you could just see, she wants to raise that friggin' card up to buy something, bid on something. She's like, what do I do? I said, well, if you want it, you raise your arm up and you bid on it. So a couple of things that, I bought a thing of bowling pins because I wanted one for my bar. Well, I ended up selling them for what I bought the thing at, got to keep one bowling pin for the bar, which is over there still. And so she gets this backpack that comes in. They start out $50. She's like,
She bid against herself. $60.
it was
How
like
did she bid against herself?
the very
No.
first bid. Usually they'll start out, who'll give me $50? Well, it's like crickets.
Oh,
And
and
it's
then
like
they go to
$2,
40, yeah.
$2.50, $3, $4, $5. She's like $50. Like, what the
You
fuck?
won.
What
No one
the-
else wants
Yeah,
it.
what the fuck did you do? She's like, what? What did I do? I said, you just got it. She's like, how much was it? I said, you bid $50. So needless to say, she doesn't get to come to any of the auctions.
sense.
You didn't
more.
even give her a second chance?
Well, it's one of them things that I love a good auction, but I get kind of suckered into buying crap that I really don't need.
That's fair.
So that's why I don't go to auctions no more.
Oh, that's why.
Someday there's going to be a giant auction out there in that barn.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you
if
still
we'll
have a
ever-
wooden arch in your barn?
No,
I didn't think so.
nope. I probably have got the
Timber made a good point. Remember that one time you
band
robbed
camp?
that old lady of that rotten bullshit trellis?
I don't know how he knows that story because I don't even remember that story.
robbed the old lady with the
You
rotten
sold it to
trellis.
her, and she offered you X amount. You said nope, nope, and she kept offering, and then you said, "Well, if you're not going to come get it, then I'm going to sell it to someone else." It was an old piece of shit
Oh,
trellis.
that was a steel trellis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a piece of crap. It was friggin' antiqued. It
Yeah.
was a nice antique trellis.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Well, I have some stuff that I have on Marketplace right now. I did get rid of the small smoker, like this big.
Okay.
It was a great smoker. I bought it for $50. I ended up selling it for $40. I used it for like 5 years when we went camping and stuff like that. It was a truly a good deal for $40. But the thing that pisses me off, and I know I do the same thing, because someone will have something for $500, I'll say I'll give you $200 for it, waiting for them to come back to $350, and then we'll work out the number from there.
Mhm.
Well, the problem is you shoot so low that it's like
People don't
Because I
even,
really don't want it. But if
Then
they want
why-
to, because if they want to sell it to me, sometimes you get that friggin' weak moment where people are like, oh, it's been like
where
I
you get a
bought.
bread oven for $500.
I got 2 scooters for $700.
that's true.
I got, it's like, I offered him 5. He come back at 6. No, was it 6 or 7?
You landed
Yeah,
at
7.
7, so
Yeah. So it's one of them things that, you never know what's going to happen.
right.
Like today, I was on Marketplace. A guy's got 3 BF40 Honda outboard motors, brand new,
Mhm.
long shaft, last year's model. How much you want for them? They're listed for $8,000. He had them listed for $7,000, or make offer. That tells me that
OBO.
if
How much did you offer?
I didn't offer anything, I said, why don't you just give me your bottom line so that we can quit screwing around? He said, $6,000, you can take it, which
Okay.
I thought was a decent deal
Yeah.
for a brand new motor. I don't need but this is now going on 2 years.
Yeah.
So I figure I'll wait for a little bit and see if I can save another $400 or $500 on it. You never know.
When are you picking up your new thing?
My new thing.
Would you just order the other day?
Oh, the smoker?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's getting shipped here. It's an 8-hour trip to
Did
Wisconsin.
they say they will ship it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I already talked to them.
Because it says, I'm looking on their website, it says this listing is for local pickup only.
Yeah, no, they have, and you can text them.
Read the fine print. If you are a YouTube star, we'll ship it to you.
No,
Yeah.
no, they will actually ship it to you. You have to call for shipping prices. So I paid for it, and then I wanted
Oh,
to
you
pay
paid for the shipping?
No, I wanted to pay for the shipping as well because I
Oh.
had the money at the time.
Yeah.
I may not have the money tomorrow when the shipping comes in, but No, they give me a price of $400 to ship it.
Oof.
No, that's not that.
So
bad.
for
Oh.
$400, I can't drive 16 hours to
No.
pick something up and come back. So 5 to 8 weeks. I did order a new smoker with a side mount pellet adapter, which I'm super excited for. So we'll do an unboxing on that when we get it. That will be super exciting. They wanted to know. So here's one thing I am looking for, and I probably will go out and buy it myself if I don't get something, if I can't find something on Marketplace.
Okay.
But I need to buy some new forks for my tractor
Okay.
because they kind of flop around like a, pardon my French, I don't know if I should say it or not, but they flop around like a limp dick on my friggin' bucket of my tractor. So I have to either get something I can squish them things back together with,
Okay.
which is going to take like a 25-ton press to press them together, or I need to buy a new set of forks. So I think in the forks were only a couple $100. So I'll be looking for something like that on Marketplace just to see if they have something, because that is when they ship it, they're not bringing a drop, what do they call the trucks with the little brrr thing that goes
Drop
down?
gate.
Drop gate. Yeah, so I got to have the, don't worry, that was my foot. My feet are dangling out in front so
Mine
people
aren't.
can see
I'm
'em.
sitting at the edge of my seat.
Yeah, so that's my new thing. When I get the smoker, I'm gonna friggin' we're gonna throw some
Can
smoke.
we have a rib
and-
party?
Can we what?
A rib party?
So here's what I'm going to attempt to do.
That's a no.
No, absolutely, I'm all over it. But
Have you ever done dry rub on ribs?
I have. and
Would you be able to do some dry rub for me just because I can't have sauce?
I can.
That's a no too.
No. See, I'm all for trying new stuff because I'll obviously have my own thing. Like Zach made a comment the other day. He's like, "Your ribs suck, old man."
Whoa. I didn't say
What?
that.
Wait,
Those were
no.
actually, you like them so that you got to chew on the bone.
Correct.
These ones were the happy medium in between.
And
I
you
like
know
when
why?
why don't you like when they fall off the bone?
Because it's like eating mush.
It's so good.
Oh, it's friggin' horrible.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I
It's-
prefer when they kind of fall off.
It's
He
like,
also likes his mac and cheese noodles cooked so much that by the time you're looking in the pot of like noodles, you're like, okay, these are done. And it's like, I don't know. Then you cook them longer and he's still like, no, it's not done. And then have you ever cooked pasta so long that the water's just gone? That's
yes.
how he likes his mac and cheese noodles.
That's when you say, "Oh shit, I forgot the friggin' pasta on
Exactly.
the stove."
And then I'm like, oh crap, he's not going to like it. And he takes a bite. Wow, these noodles are so good.
No,
Shut
I-
up,
Shut up, Shelby. I knew
See,
that was-
Badass says the same thing. If they're falling off the bone, they're overdone. Thank you. No, it's just I cooked them last time I cooked them in the oven because I had 2 smokers and both my smokers took a shit. I had a friggin' job I was trying to finish. So I come back at noon to put the ribs on. It wasn't just as easy as plugging it in, throwing the pellets in there, and away you go. The friggin' thing got bound up. It was the second time it got bound up. I got pissed off. I said, I'm not using that one. So I went to the other one. The burners were all screwed. No, the friggin' regulator was screwed up. It's like, I'm done. I got rid of both of them. I carried them both down, threw them in the garbage. But that was the thing. When I cooked the ribs, I cooked them in the oven for 3 hours, and they were tender, but they weren't fall off the bone. So now I'm going to attempt to become a better barbecue-y, and I don't want to fall off the bone, but I want them to get them closer than low and slow is where people say to go.
Yeah.
So I'm
But
really
you're an impatient person.
well, and that's as I get older, though, I don't have as much stuff I truly need to do. I mean, I can.
You are more on edge now than you ever have been. You're turning into a cranky old man, whether you have time or not.
Well, I guess that's true. I'll
know?
work on that.
Yeah, work
ma-
on that.
Maybe this weekend I'll work on that.
Yeah, sure. You'll make me cry at some point.
No, I.
You
well,
know what you could do?
what can I do, Uncle Fred?
You could
You know what you could do.
fuck you. Fuck you. I ain't gonna tell you.
I want to know. Tell me,
See?
not him.
See how he does that?
Tell me.
He gets all pissed off when I freaking call him out on
Tell me.
something like that.
I'll mute his mic so he can't talk.
You just bought a smoker from a company that is arguably a professional fabrication company.
Correct.
Make them fab you up some forks.
I don't think that's something
does
they
that mean?
do.
Why wouldn't they?
What does that mean?
I suppose
They have
What does that mean?
forks for the tractor, like a
Oh.
forklift. Something that
Oh.
could go onto a bucket, has more support, but they have 6-inch dice made out of steel. Why would they not do forks?
that's possible. And it's something that, I mean, they do some cool stuff. I think I want one of them rocket stoves. I don't know why.
Stove?
Don't them look cool? Check
know what I want?
Check out a rocket stove, Shelb.
So you know what you need to do?
What?
You need to have them, if they'll do it, fabricate. Though you'll probably be able to get it from China cheaper.
What is this for?
But the rocket stove, you
Doesn't it
can
look
turn that
cool?
into
What do you do with it? It looks like a fire pit.
It is.
You can turn it into a
What's the point?
heater, wood burning heater
Right.
for a hot tub.
No, it looks dumb.
Well, and that's, I have seen the rocket stove, instead of like theirs is a square chimney on it.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have the round chimneys as well. And I think I sent you the picture of it where they wrap copper around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, when you got the stove on, you can actually heat your hot tub.
Yep.
Yes, I have seen that. And I did think about seeing if they could fabricate something with a piece of 4-inch. I don't know if they could or if they can. I'm sure they, for money, you can do anything you want.
Yep.
Wow, it's 8:15 already.
Mhm.
Got on one of my friggin' soap operas, and this is what happens.
You?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
No, it's not hard to say because you haven't struggled tonight.
Got a couple of cocktails in me. Let's see here. Wow, I can't believe Timmer remembered the old trellis thing.
I know.
Don't know if I ever even heard that story.
Yeah.
Must have been when you guys were FaceTiming
not
late
sh-
at night.
I'm not sure where I got it, but
You missed it.
stuff like that, I'd like to beat friggin' people with the friggin'.
Did
when-
you hear what
With
I
the
just
trellis.
I did not.
said? I said I don't even remember that story. You must have told it to him when you guys were FaceTiming late at night.
You and
Told
Timmer.
who?
You and Timmer.
Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't call over there because they have to go up, climb up the pole to friggin'
You
answer
get
the
free
phone.
minutes after 8 p.m. Don't you remember?
I don't know that. Didn't know that.
I'm not telling the truth, but that was a joke about when
I
we
thought
were
I-
growing
They
up.
just
You had
actually-
free minutes.
I
Back
thought I had
after
to
8
go
p.m.
over by like the Sarnia border so that I could
Yeah,
get
go to a
Canadian.
go to a Detroit Tigers game. Maybe you'll be able to talk to each
There you
other.
go. It's delicious. So I did have a couple of them last weekend, along with some Keweenaw at the Partey,
Oh yeah,
and I was in the pickers when I come home.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
You guys left early.
Not really.
No,
We-
what time did you leave?
It was like I think we got home at like 9:00.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dang! Oh snap!
Oh snap.
And we actually went to
So-
Arby's on the way home.
That's funny.
Mom's like, I could go for Arby's. It's like, oh, you're driving.
twist my
You
arm.
friggin-
can go for you.
No, I was okay until I got home. I got in bed. And it's like I fell asleep at like 9:00. I slept till 11:30. I woke up. It's like, oh, I need to put water in my mask. Put my water in. Put my mask on. Fell back asleep till like 8:00 the next morning. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I'm hoping that because we're having a slow start to the summer, that the summer and warm weather will extend into the fall, so that we can have nice weather on our wedding day. Right now it
What's-
says sunny and 54.
Hey, you'll take 54 and sunny all day long.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Because everyone's going to be dressed accordingly for it.
I mean, we only have to be outside for 30 minutes.
Timmer, it's only like a half an hour over the border, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
When he's
Who is this guy sitting here? He's like, hey, Zach and Shelby, blah, blah.
hey
Zach,
guys.
Zach, who's that? I don't know. Who is it? It's Timmer.
Next thing you know, you get the text. It's like Instagram.
Yeah.
You
And pictures of us at our
Yeah.
wedding.
know.
That would be funny.
So anyway,
Anyway.
Timmer said back to the hunting topics. Did you guys get any
Boo.
tags? I don't know. When
Nope.
do Do they draw them or have they drawn them?
I don't think they've drawn them.
So that's coming around the corner. We do have food plots going in either the last weekend of July, first week of August. It is time to start checking things out. I want to know. So I've checked with some people as far as what to plant in northern Michigan, and they're like, every time I ask them, I'd like to plant oaks. Oh, can't plant oaks. You got the oak wilt. Okay, I'd like to plant this. Oh, can't do that. It's too moist for that, or too wet. What the hell do you plant in wet conditions in northern Michigan and or let's call it Canada or over the west side of the state? I mean, what's a good tree/bush? People say the persimmons bush or persimmons or whatever the hell it is.
For what?
For just to bring the deer in, give them something to snack on late season. They'll nibble here, nibble there. So I did go to
December.
No, like October and December. Yes.
Okay.
So October, if you were to put apple trees in, you don't want to put apple trees in that produce in August because that's going to do you no good.
Correct.
So you need to get something in there so that it's going to start producing the end of September, 1st of October. And realistically, October is really not when you want things to produce. You want to have that food plot in December or, November so that, they're still coming into your food plots and whatever. But, people are saying, okay, clover, you put not the clover in the, what the hell's the other stuff? Corn? No, not corn.
Well, they got that new. Didn't they just come out with it? They used AI to generate corn that grows from the ground, not in stalks, just in piles.
I hope they do that with bacon as well because I want to plant that in my garden. So I get a bacon bush and then I get the tomato bush. And then if you could match them together, that would be badass.
Yeah.
And then that way you get your toast and your mayo, just friggin' cut something off,
Yeah.
throw it on there. It's all good.
Mr. Badass said, I always love to plant in a good bush.
I really don't enjoy
I'm
this.
just reading the comments, okay?
Shelby really hates you right now, badass.
Gross.
Then he asked when the wedding day was, November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So Timmer says that's old school.
What's old school?
Hardwood is not in. Hardwood is in. Shag carpet is out. So years ago,
Hardwood is in. Told you. Zach loves carpeting. Makes me want to freaking vomit.
Me too.
I
Well-
think it's absolutely horrendous, hideous, disgusting, ugly.
The good thing is, you didn't read the comments because they're talking about pubes.
Oh.
Nothing better than a candle and a treasure map to get through that forest, for Christ's sakes.
Anyway, I'm gonna. Remember what I did last week when I don't know if someone irritated me or what, but I just hit the end, turned all the mics off, and we were done. I'm gonna do that again.
All right. Well,
If
do
you
you
do
have
it.
your fun fact?
Well, my fun fact was about the penny, but I do have a fun fact about
Wait,
Memorial Day.
you did the penny like an hour ago.
I know I wasted it.
So that was
So my fun fact is about what? Well, first of all, you want to empty out your brain before I talk because after I say my fun fact, you're gonna talk
No,
for 15
he's
minutes.
still going to.
Okay. So,
no, really.
yeah. So the Thursday before Memorial Day, so starting, which is today, the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, they're called the Old Guard. They place over 260,000 flags at each headstone at Arlington National Cemetery, which is where all of the fallen soldiers and veterans are buried. It's only a cemetery for veterans, and they put flags in front of each plot.
That's a
The
lot.
Thursday before, 260,000, and
How many people does it take?
it takes 4 days, and then they start removing them Tuesday.
So that would be very
Time consuming.
touching to see.
Yeah, it would. Have you ever seen a picture of it?
I have.
Oh, it's
I
crazy.
have, and it's something that if you ever, I don't want to go too far, but if you ever get to go see Pearl Harbor in Hawaii as well,
Have you been to Hawaii?
yeah, friggin'
Really?
Pearl Harbor is absolutely phenomenal.
Really?
It's very much like this. I
Mhm.
mean, you walk through the whole
Bone
place and
chilling.
it's very quiet. You don't hear a lot of friggin' stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Not like
So, with that being said, guys, have a great weekend. Remember your comrades or your fallen soldiers and your soldiers that you know, friends, family, relatives, whatever the case may be. Reach out to them and thank them for their services. And with that being said, I think it's time that we leave. Don't forget small town sourdough bread, Small Town Laser Creations, best sourdough and or sign company in the world. We're out of here. See ya.
Charlie the plumber, that's the name. Living the good life, doing it his way. Oh, come on, folks. Hey, it's Charlie. Woo. CTP, baby.